One of the biggest mistakes so many Tesla owners make is not considering this. This is the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, or what now Tesla calls the rear-wheel drive edition of the Model 3. It looks like the long-range version on the outside, and even on the inside, you'd be really hard-pressed to tell a difference without a hard press on the accelerator. And even then, are the differences really that apparent, and do they really even matter? The Standard Range Plus line has been one of Tesla's best-kept secrets that will soon be coming, hopefully very soon, to the Model Y, at least here in the US as well. So in this video, let me tell you why the cheapest Tesla might just be the perfect Tesla for most people, and also go over all the major differences, what you do get with the long range, what you don't get with the Standard Range Plus, and also why a lot of those differences really don't even matter. And a huge thanks to Into the AM for sponsoring this video. More on them though in a bit. Now, I don't mean to start this video off by sounding like an old man, but I've just got to say it because it's true. Back in my day, in May of 2019, when I took delivery of this car, the Standard Range Plus model was worlds apart from the long-range version. At that time, the price difference was around $10,000, and beyond considerably less range and a single motor, it had no rear heated seats, no satellite maps, no web browser, no streaming music. It was missing speakers, a subwoofer, floor mats. It was a Tesla, yes, but it was missing a whole lot of stuff. And while some of that stuff is still missing today, through the magic of software updates, I'm happy to report that my 2019 Standard Range Plus is now basically feature for feature the same with not only the new models, but also the long range and performance Model 3s as well. And it's gotten really, really good. I now have all the streaming options. I've got full-on FSD capabilities, including FSD beta access as well. All the hardware was basically there from the get-go. It just took Tesla a little while to finally turn it all on. And it's a very similar story even today, though there have even been some even bigger changes that now make the Standard Range Plus, in my opinion, the best value, the best steal for the price. And there are so many reasons why you should go with the Standard Range Plus and not pony up the money for the long range. But at the same time, I also got to be honest that there are many reasons, maybe even some deal breakers, that are going to turn many off to the Standard Range Plus and just push you even more to the long range or performance models. Now, to start things off, cosmetically, there really is no difference here on the outside. You're getting the exact same exterior, same color options. You can even upgrade the wheels if you'd like to as well. If you did notice the lack of a badge on the back, you wouldn't even realize this wasn't a long-range model. You would notice it though when you go to buy, because even though the prices have changed, there is still a considerable difference between the Standard Range Plus rear-wheel drive model and the long range, and of course the performance option too. Now, before we continue our Standard Range Plus versus long-range Model 3 debate, I want to take a quick break and tell you guys all about this video's sponsor, Into the AM. Into the AM has been making ultra comfortable and premium clothing since 2012, and they're on a mission to help you express your energy, your creativity, and your passion with some high quality apparel that is comfortable and just looks incredible. And Into the AM has basically got it all. If you're looking for a creative, one-of-a-kind design, they've got a huge variety of graphic tees that just look incredible. They've got colorful, super vibrant ink, really nice designs, and also a great fit on them as well. And if you're into something a little bit more subtle, their basic tees are like my go-to wardrobe. They're ultra comfortable. I love the fit. I love the finish, the materials. I've got one on right now and I love the color, love the way this looks, and I don't think I look too bad if I do say so myself. I love these basic tees from Into the AM. Into the AM is just making some really great stuff, and they've also got some really great deals going on right now as well. Like 3 basic tees for $45, an excellent choice, and 3 graphic tees for just $60. Also, Into the AM just did a restock of a bunch of their awesome fleece products, basic hoodies, joggers, plus so much more. Perfect as the weather sort of cools down, and also the perfect gift for someone in your life this holiday season too. Love their fleece stuff. I just kind of love everything from Into the AM. They just make some really great stuff. So if you guys want to learn more and check out all that Into the AM has to offer, hit the link right down below in the description, or head to intotheam.com/Robert10 and use my special code Robert10 to get 10% off your awesome selection of apparel from Into the AM. Again, hit that link right down below to learn more and get shopping today on some ultra comfortable and really great looking clothes from Into the AM. Again, use my special code Robert10 to get 10% off your order. At the time of filming this video, because Tesla prices seem to change all the time, the Standard Range Plus is currently $44,990, while the long range version is $50,990. That's about a $6,000 difference, which granted is closer in price than it's ever been before, but also by no means insignificant, which sort of raises the question, if you don't choose to pony up the $6,000 and go with the long range, you instead go with the Standard Range Plus, what are you really missing out on? And is it really that big of a deal? Now, the big difference right off the bat is, of course, with battery capacity, motors, and range. The Standard Range Plus is EPA rated currently for 272 miles, which granted is way better than the 240 miles of my 2019 model, but still pales in comparison to the 358 miles of the long range version. That's almost 100 miles difference, which for many people is a really big deal, especially if you do a lot of road trips, you do a lot of driving, and especially important if you don't have a reliable way to charge, especially at home where it's most convenient. The long range model also has dual motors, which means it's got a faster 0 to 60 time than the Standard Range Plus. There are also some top speed differences, and also important to note that the Standard Range Plus is rear-wheel drive, while the long range is all-wheel drive, so especially important for those of you in cooler climates and driving in the snow. So those are the major differences under the hood. Not a huge deal if you don't mind less range, and especially if you have a home charger and live in a warmer climate, but what might be a deal breaker here really has to do with the inside and what you're missing there. The Standard Range Plus has what Tesla used to call their partial premium interior, while the long range and performance models have what Tesla calls the full premium interior. Tesla no longer seems to use this verbiage on their websites, at least not anywhere I can find, but the differences are still pretty much exactly the same. The first one that kind of irks me most is the lack of floor mats. There are no floor mats in the Standard Range Plus rear-wheel drive model, which for a $45,000 car is kind of ridiculous. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's kind of more the thought that counts, but there are no floor mats in the Standard Range Plus. You're going to have to pony up the money and get your own. I've got a couple of recommendations I will leave linked down below, but just something you'll kind of notice right off the bat. The Standard Range Plus is also missing a heated steering wheel and rear heated seats. Now, to clarify, the car does have this hardware built in, but you're going to have to pay to unlock it. I think the last quote I saw used to be $300 for the seats in the back themselves, basically $100 a seat. But now what I recently saw was that you could unlock both the heated steering wheel and the seats for $300, I believe. You can't do one or the other. It's sort of a combo deal. So the hardware is there, but you're going to have to pay after the fact any time to unlock it. Tesla does make it, of course, super easy. You could do it within the app. It's basically just like a couple of taps and you're good to go. But just know right off the bat, you will not have these unlocked from the factory, the heated steering wheel and the rear heated seats. Actually, that's not entirely true. Learning some new info here thanks to a Reddit user who sort of posted this post clarifying things that things are actually different now with newer rear-wheel drive Standard Range Plus variants. So if you buy a new car today, like you order and take delivery after November of 2021, then you actually get the heated steering wheel and the rear heated seats as a standard option. Means it's free, it comes unlocked from the factory. That is super cool to see. Now, if you got a car before November of 2021 and it has those built in, you do have the option to pay to upgrade to get the heated steering wheel and the rear heated seats. And if you have a car like mine, which is an older Standard Range Plus, you can pay to unlock just the rear heated seats because that's the only hardware you have. So actually kind of cool that if you do buy a Standard Range Plus, it's no longer a difference there. You get rear heated seats and heated steering wheel standard from the factory. Thanks, Tesla. There are also some other smaller differences, at least in my Standard Range Plus with the interior lighting. It is much, much dimmer than the long range version. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure if this is still the case. But for those who are sensitive to sort of darker cars at night, or at least the darker interior, the Standard Range Plus is very faintly lit. So just sort of keep that in mind. You could, of course, get third-party lighting installed and all that stuff, but just know that it is missing some interior lighting for whatever reason. But the biggest difference between the partial premium and the full premium interior has to be by far the audio quality. The Standard Range Plus's audio system is physically missing some audio devices. It's missing speakers, an amplifier, a subwoofer. It has a less premium sound experience and sound hardware than what you'll find in the long range or performance models. And to be clear, they are not in the car at all. There is no way to do any kind of paid upgrade. There's no software update here. There is not an option to have these at all, at least from Tesla. Now, living with the car car, I'll say that I don't think it's all that bad. I don't necessarily think that it is a substantial difference from most things, in my opinion. In fact, I've got a whole video I will leave a link to down below and up here that does a side-by-side comparison between the Standard Range Plus audio system and then the full audio system in a Model Y. You can listen for yourself. I'll say sort of my opinion is that if you're a casual listener of the radio, podcast, stuff like that, it's not a huge deal. But if you do a lot of commuting and you love to listen to music, you will notice a difference, especially the lack of a subwoofer is really disappointing. And you just basically, although the car says you have immersive sound, it's not really immersive sound. It's very front heavy because the main speaker is really only in the front. But with all that being said, and as a Standard Range Plus owner myself, I gotta say that I absolutely love this car. I love that the software just works the exact same way as the higher end versions. I've got all the same hardware, all the same cameras for FSD, the latest FSD computers, streaming apps. It all just works exactly the same way. Software-wise, feature for feature, it's exactly the same, and that's something I really appreciate. I've also been more than happy myself with the smaller battery. 240 miles of range has been just fine. And I live in SoCal, so the rear-wheel drive option is not really a problem for me. And for the $10,000 I saved, I've been really happy with the Standard Range Plus. And I think for many people, it's going to be the best option out there for those of you who are looking to get in the Tesla ecosystem and also save some money and don't need a lot of the higher-end creature comforts or the larger range and battery capacity of the long-range model. And if you are really into audio and that's really the only thing holding you back, there are some external kits you can buy and aftermarket ways you can sort of upgrade the audio experience for yourself. There are shops that'll do this. There are kits you can buy, I think even on Amazon. I'll leave a link to some if I can find them down below. But you can do this yourself if you want to add or upgrade the speakers. And I definitely will tell you that it is worth saving that $6,000 and going with the Standard Range Plus, because if that's your only qualm, you can upgrade the speakers yourself or even pay someone to do it for much cheaper than the $6,000 difference in price from the Standard Range Plus to the long range model. With all that said, though, if range is really important to you, there might be a big enough reason just on that alone to sway you to the long-range model, and I completely understand if that's something you want to do. If you do a lot of driving, you do a lot of road trips, you have a long commute, that extra 100 miles, about-ish 100 miles, is going to be basically invaluable. You'll have to stop less to charge, you can charge a bit faster in the long-range model than you can with the Standard Range Plus, and I think for a lot of people, not only the peace of mind of having more range, but just the flexibility of that bigger battery and having more range is going to be a really big deal. And for a lot of people out there, I know that $6,000 is money well spent to have more range, especially, like I said, 100 miles-ish is a pretty big difference. Now, another big question to all of this, and to make things even more complicated, is when we could see a Standard Range or Standard Range Plus Model Y. Well, the Standard Range Model Y variant does exist as of right now in China, and seems like it's inevitably going to come to the US. As Tesla sort of switches up its battery technology, they're able to use these LFP batteries that are in the Standard Range Plus. There are some rumors that Tesla could bring that over and make a cheaper, more affordable Standard Range Model Y, which would be very welcomed, especially as of right now, as the long range model keeps getting more expensive. A cheaper, more affordable option with a little less range would be really nice to see. Now, Tesla did say that they were going to do this, then they weren't going to do it, and they weren't, then they won't. They kind of went back and forth on this a couple of times, but I definitely think that this is in the cards and would make a lot of sense to happen and bring that over to the North America market. And if you were able to get a Standard Range Model Y, that's basically a Standard Range Plus, that's let's say $6,000 or $7,000 cheaper than the long range model, would you consider it? Is the long range only Model Y a deal breaker for you? Would you go with the Standard Range Plus Model Y? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So anyways, what are you guys' thoughts on all of this? What are your thoughts on the differences between the Standard Range Plus and Long Range Model 3 and what could inevitably be coming with the Model Y? Do you think these differences are worth the $6,000 price difference between these models? Do you think the Standard Range Plus has gotten too expensive? Is there just a lot more to consider here? Or is the range alone really worth it? The sort of creature comforts of the full premium interior, are they worth it to go long range, or would you be happy with the Standard Range Plus? And if you are a Standard Range Plus owner, like I know many of you guys out there are, why did you go Standard Range Plus and not go long range? Let me know your thoughts, all this down below, we can discuss. And if you are a potential Tesla owner looking to sort of make that decision for yourself, leave a comment down below and we can all help you out and to help persuade you one way or the other. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one.